Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome back to the Vinyl Dens segment on channel 33 RPM. This is where we check out cool music rooms from across the vinyl community and around the world. This first submission comes from Jim, and Jim is from Australia. Jim writes, my record shed is actually in my backyard. It is a 6x9 meter shed that I call the Wolf and Buzzard Ale House. I love the sound of that. It's got my hi-fi system, a bar, a pot belly wood heater, a bathroom, important if you're drinking all that beer, and obviously my records. He says, the shed was purpose-built as a backyard hangout. I personally don't like the term man cave, but it was built for that sort of thing in mind. Australia has a very strong shed culture for this sort of thing. I gotta say, I've never heard of shed culture. It's not a thing here where I live, but I love the sound of it, man. The idea of people having these really cool decked out sheds in their backyards sounds amazing. Jim wrote, the work within the shed was done mostly by my two best mates, Misty Boy and Bone Broth Pete. Love the names of your friends, man. Love it. In fact, if you could mention them by name in the video, they would be stoked. Hello, Misty Boy, and hello, Bone Broth Pete. Good job, guys. My wife and I, Jim says, both work in emergency services, so it's a great place for a beer and a record after work. Our twin 5-year-old daughters love it too. Emergency service workers, you guys have had your hands full for the past couple of years, so this sounds like the perfect chill out zone for you. Jim writes, I think I have about 1,200 records ranging from blues, rock, soul, funk, jazz, folk, rock, country, and lots of stoner rock. Jim's system includes a Yamaha AS1100 preamp, Project Experience SB turntable with a Nagaoka MP200 cartridge. For his preamp, he has a Lounge Audio LCR Mark II, and he uses a Cision Sumner speakers. I gotta say, I absolutely love this setup. I can't tell you how much I like it. I mean, the shed just looks so unassuming from the outside, then bam! You get this amazing hangout space inside with music, a bar. I mean, this place is just, it's fantastic. I love the overall feel with the dark wood and the decor, and of course, all those beer bottles. I did ask Jim about those beer bottles, and he said, the beer bottles are just ones I've collected over the years. The wife and I both love trying fancy beers. We often have beer tasting nights in the shed with a few records, of course. And then, okay, one more follow-up email I got from Jim here. He said, good day, Frank. Sorry to hassle you. I forgot to add a photo of what I call the altar. It's where I display the record I'm listening to. It's kind of like a now spinning sort of situation. And he says, arguably, this is the most important part of the shed, the altar. I love the sound of that, man. Very cool. This may, in fact, be one of the coolest vinyl dens I've shown in this series. Good luck. Good luck. Good job, Jim. Dig it, man. Awesome. All right, check this out. This is another amazing space. This comes from YouTuber and all-around good guy, Aaron Mutha Alamer, and he writes, hi, my name is Aaron, and I've been a 33er for over 5 years. Thank you for your loyalty and for subscribing, Aaron. Likewise, I watch your videos and I dig them. He says, I live in Idaho and have been collecting records since the 1970s. I currently have about 4,000 records, and I purge my collection every couple of years, so now my collection has very little filler. That's the way to do it, right? All killer, no filler. He says, I am 51 years old and most of my music is hard rock, heavy metal, and classic rock, but I have a little bit of everything. My system is very much Frankensteined together. I have a Fluence RT85 turntable, and the rest of my components are made up of Kenwood, Onkyo, and JBL, all good brands. He says, my favorite part of my record room is my kegerator, which I always keep a full keg of Budweiser. Again, we're seeing the connection between music and beer, right? I mean, hey, they go hand in hand. I dig both, and I got my home bar over there, as you guys have seen before. Anyway, so that is Aaron's summary. I don't know where to start with this space. It all looks very cool to me. I did spot channel 33 RPM over there in the TV, so thank you for that. Check out that wall of records. Take another close look at this wall of records. It's all perfectly lined up, and it's flat, and it's well organized. That's the way I like it, and the way I like to keep mine, but I don't always succeed. So kudos to you, Aaron, for what appears to be impeccable organizational skills. He's got a Fluence RT85 turntable, and after doing enough of these Vinyl Dens episodes, I think I can conclude with some authority that the Fluence RT85 has to be one of the most popular turntables in the vinyl community, if not the most popular turntables. And it's a really good record player. I mean, tons of bang for your buck. Just on the fact alone that it comes with an Ortofon 2M blue cartridge and stylus, which on its own costs like $200. The turntable's $500. So great deal just for that. But it does sound really good. It doesn't look like Aaron has a huge room, but many of us don't. I mean, my space is 10 feet by 10 feet, but it looks like Aaron has taken great advantage of all his space, has it all organized. So 33ers, please do check out Aaron's channel. He and I have very similar tastes in music. As I said, he's an all-around good guy. I'll leave a link to his channel below this video. Thanks for sending the pictures, Aaron. Dig it, man. All right, speaking of backyard sheds, you got to check this one out. This comes from Paul, and Paul writes, "Hello, Frank. My name is Paul, and I'm a vinyl junkie." Hi, Paul. I'm a vinyl junkie as well. We're all in good company here. He says, "I am 71 and have been a vinyl collector since I was 16. Awesome. Many years well spent there." He says, "In 2018, my wife and I purchased our retirement home in the Bruce Peninsula in Ontario. That's in Canada. On the property, there was an old general store that we completely renovated to become my listening room and for record storage." You can see that old general store on the screen here. I'm most definitely jealous of anyone who has a record shed, or in this case, a record general store. It's very cool. And actually went on Google Maps and I found a picture of the way the general store used to look. So this is the way it looked when Paul and his wife bought the property. You can see there it was a fully functioning store, corner store, general store, whatever. And again, this is the way it looks now. So that is very cool. What else did Paul say? He says, "I have around 7,000 to 8,000 LPs. My musical tastes cover almost all genres and eras. I'm still finding new music that I love." And that's so important. I try to make that a priority for myself anyway, is continuing to find new music and discovering new artists, because it is so easy for any of us to get stuck in our ways and to say continue listening to the music that we listened to in high school or the music that we grew up in. That's the easy way. I think it's important, at least for myself, to continue to challenge myself to find new music, which is what Paul is doing as well. So that's very cool. He says, "What you see is going to become a record store by early July, by appointment only. So yeah, it's time to start parting with some of this stuff." Well, this is very cool. I mean, you have the store, it used to be a general store. Why not make it into a record store? And he said further in the email, he's not doing any shipping or anything like that. Again, it's by appointment only. If interested, you can send him an email to this address, pgladdie@hotmail.com. He says, "I will be doing this old school, no mail order." Love it, Paul. Congrats on the space and good luck with the record sales. Sounds fun. If I lived anywhere near you, I would check it out. I have some more Vinyl Dens coming up here, but if you are interested in submitting your space for a future episode of Vinyl Dens, I've left some information below this video. Do check that out. All right, we're going over to Terrace, BC, again here in Canada. This is from Brado, and Brado writes, "Thought I would share my man cave area with you. We have a TV sitting area, pool table, and arcade games, and my vinyl is in a walk-in closet in the room." And he says, regarding the games, he says, "The games are all original upright cabinets. I find the games broken and repair them. Currently, I have Robotron, Centipede, Joust, Stargate Defender, a Tempest cocktail table, Japanese candy cabinet that plays 1,500 different games, checks hockey table, and my Revenge from Mars pinball machine. He says at one time I had over 50 classic 80s games in here, but have scaled back. Currently fixing a Frogger and a Donkey Kong as well. Man, classic, I guess they call it retro gaming, 80s gaming. That's right up my alley. That's what I grew up with. I have an arcade machine here in my basement. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that, Brado, that you restore these and bring them back to life. There's just so much gear out there just wasting away. So we definitely need more people like you. Love it. Love the space. Keep up the good work, man. This next one comes from Vinyl Boz in Lakeland, Florida, USA. And Boz also has a YouTube channel called That Vinyl Channel. Again, I will leave a link to that below this video. It's been in the vinyl community for years. And again, him and I do have some crossover in terms of musical tastes. Boz writes, this is mostly all one big room, except for the pictures of the 5x5 Kallax IKEA shelving unit, which is in the adjacent living room. I ran out of room for it in the record room, so that's its home now. My wife isn't happy about it though. I'm sure you can relate. I think that's a problem all of us record collectors have, where we have, you know, a defined amount of space for our stuff. And eventually, if you get at this long enough, it kind of starts creeping outside of that space. So I think it happens to all of us. He says, my gear is a Project Essential 3 turntable and a Technics SL 1200 Mark 7. He says he has a Yamaha receiver and Klipsch bookshelf reference speakers. Now check this out. He says the bulk of his collection is in 45s, like 7-inch records, and he has 90 tubs full of them, which equals to about 10,000 45s. He also has about 3,000 LPs. Mostly 70s and 80s classic rock, but also some 90s rock. He's got a lot of soundtracks. Mostly sci-fi movies and comedies, and a lot of Mondo stuff. Mondo does a lot of great reissues in terms of soundtracks. I love the fact that he's able to dedicate so much stuff to his music collection. It looks like a large space. And that's the domain of records and all this good stuff. So that is very cool. I noticed that there were some records hanging on the wall there. I'm kind of curious to see what you do, Boz, in terms of dust control, or if those are for display purposes only, or you clean them regularly or whatnot. I haven't actually hung records themselves on the wall. I've been worried about dust. So obviously you're doing something right there. So I'd be curious to hear what you do. Otherwise, amazing space, dude. I gotta say, I got way more submissions for the Vinyl Den segment that I was able to use in this video. So I do have some cool stuff coming up. Stay tuned for that. If you want to see some more Vinyl Dens videos, I've created a whole playlist with these. I will leave the link to that right here, or right here somewhere on the screen, so you can check it out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep on spinning.